how do you set your notary fees and how do you know to charge for different services? I made a video similar to this to explain it, and now I guess I could do it a little bit more in detail so you guys can understand. I'll try to draw an image to the best of my ability, but setting your notary fees isn't as hard as you think it is. If you want, there is a bundle that I have down below where I just give you a range of all the services one by one. But if you want to get even more specific and you want to save a little bit of extra money and you got extra time, then I would do it like this. You need to research. You need to do a little bit of research and understand what the going rate is for in your area. So I would say start off with research. So now the question becomes, how do I research, right? I want to research by looking at the top performers. If I misspelled something when I'm doing this, guys, my bad. I'm talking, I'm writing, and I'm teaching at the same time. And I can't spell. Anyways, so you want to know what the top performers are. You want to do your research, find out who the top performers are. When I say top performers, you need to look at all the people in your zip code or in your area that are getting high reviews on the services that they're providing. And the services that they're providing are going to be the ones that you can also offer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all my top performers and see who are the top 1 to 5 with the best reviews. So the ones with the best reviews. Oof, butchered that. All right. And how you find that is by going to Google and looking up the zip code that you have. So let's say if your zip code is 12345, at that point, you're going to be typing in 12345. Let's call it mobile notary on Google. All right. You want to type in mobile notary 12345, or you could just put this down backwards. It doesn't matter. And what you'll end up seeing is on that same Google page, whether it's at the bottom or it's at the top, it's going to have the Google My Business profile. And it's going to kind of look like something like this square that I'm drawing on the screen right now. The Google My Business profile looks something like this. It'll have like the image of whatever right there. Then you'll have like the phone number, and then you'll have like the email address and website and stuff like that. And then it'll also have a whole bunch of different businesses. And then also it'll have somebody's mobile notary, and then it has the amount of stars. So actually, let me just show you guys an example. Let me put a little screenshot here because I really guys want you to see how simple this is. So let's say I was in Kansas. All I'm doing right now is typing in Kansas mobile notary, and then I'm going to look at the business section. So for example, I'm going to show you a screenshot, guys. So where's somebody in Kansas? Wichita. We're going to do Wichita, Kansas mobile notary. Or you can also just type in the type of mobile notary it is. So let me just show you. Boom, boom, boom. Grabbing the screenshot for you guys. Boom. And I'm dragging it over. Be patient with me. So right here, you want to go to the top of Google. Make this bigger for you. And when you're at the top of Google, all you're doing is type in the city and then mobile notary. Or you could type in the zip code where this is and then type in mobile notary. And what you'll see is this businesses section right here. This is basically Google My Business, and this has all the businesses within the area within Wichita, Kansas, right? At that point, we see this more business button. You click on this more businesses button, and what it does is it opens up a whole list of different notaries in that area. And that looks something like this. Boom. So all I did was right here, I clicked on this more business, and then it opened this up. When this gets opened up, all you're doing is scrolling down and looking at all who has the highest reviews. So just for a rough example, let's say this scrolls all the way down, so there's definitely more, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's just say that these are the top 5. You have Brandon, who has 100 5 stars. Then you have Going the Extra Mile, who has 148. You have another person at 75, another one at 8, another one at 3. If these are the top 5, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up their website, and then I'm going to look at a specific service, because remember, we're trying to know what to charge for different services. So you go there, pick 3 services. You could do the power of attorney, you can do something like their estate planning, or you could do something like their apostille. And you find out what the price is that they're charging for each one of those people. So if it was power of attorney, you look and you say, okay, Brandon charges this much for power of attorney. Going the extra mile charges this much, this much, this much, this much. So I'll kind of put like a rough number beside it for you so you guys can see what I mean. So if one person charges 100, the other one person is 75, the other one is 35, the other one is 90, and the other one is 75. All you're doing is just adding these numbers together. This is how you find the average, by the way. All you're doing is adding these numbers together, and then putting whatever the and then you're putting whatever the add these numbers together, divided by the amounts of numbers there. So in this case, it will be 5. Oh, not my iPad froze. My iPad froze, guys. My bad. But yeah, you're adding those numbers together, divided by 5, and then once you get that number, you'll go ahead and price yourself at that point. And what you'll tend to see is usually that point is really between these two numbers. It usually falls right in there. And the reason you want that is because you don't want to be too low. You don't want to be at 35, and you don't want to be the highest, 100, because 100, the person that's charging 100 has 100 reviews. But you want to be right there between the second and the third person and price yourself right there. And you do that for each document. That's the easiest way to get the price, I would say. That's going to be the easiest way that you can get the price out of people. So when you go there, like I said, you're going to do specific documents. I'll give you some just off the top of the head. So you want to just say, like, you could just do your general notary works or your G&Ws. You could look at what their POAs are going for. You could look at their estate planning. You could look at their apostille. You could look at their fingerprinting, because anybody can use this, to be honest. It doesn't matter. It's just a strategy. You could look at their loan signings. Yeah, and just go through one by one and get that number. And remember, when you're charging this number, especially the very first time that you're doing it, you don't be shy when telling the customers the price. Because if they sense any shyness, it's kind of like a shark smelling blood. They're going to give you a lot more pushback than you could have gotten had you have just been more confident about what you're doing. So you want to be confident when you're saying these prices with them, so the client understands, like, oh, okay, this is a regular thing. People always pay this much or this little or whatever that thing is. But that will help you get the price you need. That's how you get the price you need. If you want to get as specific as possible for your area, especially if you have like a weird area, you might want to go this route. The only other option I would say is I have a bundle down there that you can, and for each one of these I have a range. I wouldn't recommend starting off at the lowest of the range, maybe like $5 more than that, but then at least you know where to price yourself coming out the door. But when I was doing things, I was going to people's website in the beginning and just seeing how much they charge, and I was like, okay, I need to be somewhere around here. But one thing I will warn you of is not all of these websites are going to post their prices publicly. So in the event that happens, just call them, get a quote, air quotes, get a quote for a service that you need, and then write down how much they charge for that service. To be honest, it's really just a matter of thinking outside the box. That's what's really gonna help you get the prices and the answers that you need. So yeah, do these things here. Just to do a quick recap, you need to research, look at the top performers, one of the best 5 reviews. Go to Google, type in what you see here, boom, 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 or this. Open up more businesses to have a review of all of these. Then you want to take the average of a document, divide it by the amounts that's there. Let me put this division sign in there so you guys know. Divide it by 5, since there's 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you'll get your amount. That's how you get it. That's how you do it. If you got any questions on that, let me know. If you want me to just do it for you or work with somebody that can help you, walk you through the process, go ahead and click a book call down in the comments below. Also, there's a free notary startup kit and a paid bundle. There's 2 different ones in there. You guys can get either. It'll help you out a lot. There's like a phone script in there, an email template, and a list of 300 signing services. So if you want that, go ahead and get that down below. And anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Peace, love, and your boy Knowledge is out.